The world wants you emotional, reactive, distracted, because a distracted mind is an obedient mind. They feed you chaos disguised as entertainment, outrage disguised as passion, comfort disguised as safety. But here's the truth no one tells you. If you don't train your mind, someone else will. Every time you scroll, compare, complain, your mind becomes weaker. You're outsourcing your peace, renting your emotions out to people who don't even know your name. But there's another way, a quieter way, the way of the Stoic, where stillness is strength, where emotion is mastered, not suppressed, where calm isn't given, but earned. This isn't about becoming cold, it's about becoming unshakable. And if that's what you're looking for, you just found the right place. Welcome to Stoic Mastery, the channel for those who choose discipline over distraction, purpose over pleasure, and clarity over chaos. Subscribe now, because the war isn't out there. It's in here, and your mind is the battlefield. Section 1. Awareness is the first weapon. Most people will live their entire lives asleep. They will react, obey, comply, without ever realizing they never made a single conscious choice. Let that sink in, because until you see the prison, you'll never want to escape it. The average person is emotionally hijacked from the moment they wake up. They check their phone and, boom, someone else sets their tone for the day. The algorithm decides what they feel. The news tells them what to fear. The comment section tells them who to hate. And through it all, they think they're thinking for themselves. But Stoicism begins where the sleep ends. The first step isn't power. It isn't peace. It's awareness. Awareness that you are not your thoughts, that most of your reactions are programmed, that you were raised in a system designed to keep you dependent, distracted, and emotionally vulnerable. That's not conspiracy. That's psychology. In dark psychology, there's a simple truth. People are easiest to control when they are unaware of their own patterns. They become predictable, reactionary, weak. But once you become aware, truly aware, of your thoughts, your triggers, your desires, your emotional impulses, you become a threat. You begin to observe instead of absorb. You stop being a puppet and start becoming the puppeteer of your own mind. It's not things that upset us, but our judgment about things. Epictetus. And those judgments, they're often not even yours. They were installed by media, culture, childhood trauma, the people who wanted to shape you. So what do? You start watching your thoughts the way a guard watches a prisoner, not judging, not reacting, just observing. Why did I feel angry right now? Why did that comment trigger me? Why do I feel insecure around that person? Awareness sharpens your mind like a blade. And here's the dark twist. Once you gain this level of clarity, you start seeing other people clearly too. You'll start to notice manipulation instantly. You'll see through charm, guilt-tripping, gaslighting, fake confidence. Because you've studied yourself so deeply, nothing external can blind you again. This is the first step to inner calm. Know thyself, ruthlessly. Expose your weaknesses before the world uses them against you. If you're feeling this, drop the phrase in the comments right now. I command my mind, not the world. Let others know you're awake, you're training, you're done being controlled. And if you're just starting this journey, stay close, because it only gets deeper from here. We're not building soft minds here. We're building bulletproof awareness, and with it, the power to truly live free. Section 2. Emotion is a tool, not a master. The weak man feels something. and obeys it. The strong man feels it and studies it. Modern society tells you to follow your feelings, trust your gut, express yourself. But here's the uncomfortable truth. That kind of thinking is exactly what keeps people broken, reactive, and easy to manipulate. Emotion is not your identity, it's data. And like any data, it's only useful when you interpret it correctly. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." Change your estimate. Change your life. Let's break this down. When you feel anger, fear, jealousy, shame, those aren't commands. They're clues. They tell you where you're wounded, where you're insecure, where your ego still needs validation. But most people, they don't use emotion as a signal. They treat it like a god. They lash out. They break down. They post impulsively. They argue to win, not to understand. They make permanent decisions based on temporary emotions, and then spend years cleaning up the fallout. You are not your emotions. You are the observer of them. And once you master that truth, you can no longer be used by people who weaponize your feelings. In dark psychology, emotional manipulation is everything. The moment someone gets you angry, afraid, flattered, or insecure, they're in control. Salesmen use it, politicians use it, narcissists live by it. But a Stoic doesn't suppress emotion. A Stoic decodes it. They ask, why do I feel this? Who benefits from this reaction? Is this emotion useful or just noise? That pause, that split second of inner awareness, is the difference between chaos and control. Think of it like this. Your emotions are wild horses. Most people get dragged through life, bruised and battered, because they never learned to hold the reins. But you're here to train the beast, to ride your emotion, direct it, use it, and when needed, silence it. He who angers you controls you, a truth echoed by both Stoics and dark psychologists alike. This isn't about becoming cold or robotic. It's about becoming dangerously calm, unshakable, grounded, impossible to manipulate. That's power. That's Stoic mastery. If this resonated, show me you're in control. Comment below, my calm is my armor. Let others know you're not just watching this, you're living it. And if you haven't already, like this video. It helps this message reach those still living at the mercy of their emotions. Because once you stop reacting, you start ruling. Section 3. The power of negative visualization. What if I told you that peace doesn't come from imagining everything going right, but from preparing for everything to go wrong? Most people don't want to think about death, about losing the people they love, about betrayal, financial ruin, public failure, or the collapse of everything they've built. But a Stoic doesn't avoid the dark. They walk into it, eyes open. This is where negative visualization comes in, known by the Stoics as premeditatio malorum, or premeditation of evils. It's the practice of deliberately imagining the worst possible outcomes, not to become paranoid, but to become untouchable. Seneca said, "He robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming beforehand." Let that hit. You're not inviting pain. You're preparing your soul for the inevitable battles of life before they arrive. And here's the psychological twist. People who don't confront the worst-case scenario live in constant fear of it. They flinch every time something threatens their comfort. But the Stoic walks with loss in one pocket and strength in the other. Because what you prepare for loses its power over you. Imagine this. You sit quietly and picture losing your job. You feel the sting, the fear, the embarrassment, and you let it pass through you. Then you ask, what would I do? How would I respond? Who would I become? Now you're training the mind to stay calm in chaos. You're building emotional calluses. In dark psychology, people are easier to control when they're shocked by reality. Most minds are so fragile that the moment something goes wrong, they collapse. The manipulators, the systems, the power structures, they count on your dependence on comfort. But when you regularly confront discomfort, when you look at it dead in the eyes and say, I see you, I'm not afraid of you, you become psychologically untouchable. Now, let's go deeper. Picture someone you love, gone. Sit with it. Breathe through it. Not to torture yourself, but to love them deeper right now. To not take them for granted. To not waste time with petty arguments and distraction. Negative visualization isn't darkness. It's clarity. It clears away the illusion that you have time. It sharpens your priorities like a blade. And it replaces fear with preparedness. Not fake confidence, but real, forged in fire resilience. Marcus Aurelius practiced this daily. He reminded himself that his children could die, his empire could crumble, his name could be forgotten, and yet he remained calm, focused, unmoved. That's not weakness, that's supreme mental dominance. So if you're ready to train like this, comment below. I fear nothing, I see everything. Let people know you've stepped off the path of comfort and onto the path of power. And if you're truly ready for this level of inner freedom, hit that like button right now. It pushes this deeper truth into a world addicted to lies. Because you won't find calm in pretending everything will go right. You'll find calm in knowing you'll be ready when it doesn't. Section 4. Isolation isn't weakness, it's weaponization. They told you that being alone means being broken, but what if being alone is the only time you're whole? We live in a culture terrified of silence. People drown themselves in noise, music, notifications, scrolling, talking, arguing, all to avoid one thing, themselves. Because when everything gets quiet, the truth shows up. And truth makes the untrained mind uncomfortable. But for a Stoic, solitude isn't punishment, it's preparation. It's where real strength is born. It's the forge. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, yet he carved time out daily to be alone with his thoughts, to reflect, to write, to study his own soul. Epictetus said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." And you can't learn yourself while the world is screaming in your ear. Here's the raw truth. Isolation is how you hear your own voice again. It's how you distinguish your thoughts from the world's programming. That's why the system teaches you to fear it. Because a man who needs noise is easy to guide. But a man who's comfortable in silence, he's dangerous. In dark psychology, there's a tactic called dependency conditioning. It's the deliberate effort to keep a person constantly stimulated and socially entangled, because isolated minds become critical thinkers. And critical thinkers break the game. When you isolate, you disconnect from external control. You regain your power to choose, to think, to reflect. You stop reacting and start strategizing. Think of it like sharpening a blade in the dark. You return to the world silent, but surgical. This doesn't mean cutting everyone off or living like a monk. It means choosing solitude with intention and using it like a weapon. In solitude, you analyze your patterns without distraction. You reconnect with your purpose without peer pressure. You rebuild your energy without the emotional drain of others. You stop performing. You start becoming. He who is brave is free. Seneca. Bravery isn't found in crowds. It's found in the quiet decision to sit with your pain, to face your fears, to discipline your mind without applause. So next time you feel alone, remember, you're not isolating to run away. You're isolating to rise. Drop this in the comments if you're using solitude to sharpen yourself. Silence is my power. Let everyone know you don't need noise to feel alive. You don't need validation to feel valuable. You're building in the dark, so you can dominate in the light. And if you've been getting value from this video, if you feel your mind sharpening, hit that like button right now. It tells the algorithm we're not here to be entertained. We're here to elevate. Because in this world of noise, the calmest man is king, and the man who trains in isolation walks back into the world unshakable. Section 5. Freedom is found through discipline. You were told freedom means doing whatever you want, but that's a lie. Real freedom is doing what must be done, even when you don't feel like it. You've been taught to chase pleasure, to avoid pain, to seek comfort, convenience, and instant reward. But look around. Is anyone really free? Addicted to screens, controlled by cravings, running from responsibility, slaves to their own impulses, while calling it freedom. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Let that hit. You don't become free by indulging every desire. You become free by mastering your reaction to desire, and that mastery comes through discipline. Discipline is the most misunderstood word in modern life. People think it means restriction, that it's rigid, cold, robotic. But here's the truth. Discipline is self-respect in action. It's how you prove to yourself that you deserve peace. That you're not just talking about greatness, you're living it. Because calm isn't natural, focus isn't automatic, clarity isn't handed out. They're earned, in sweat, in silence, in sacrifice. Every time you wake up early instead of hitting snooze, you're telling your mind, "I own you." Every time you go to the gym when your body says no, "I control you." Every time you sit in silence when your phone begs for attention, "I am the master here." Dark psychology shows us something uncomfortable. People who lack discipline are the easiest to control, because their habits are already controlled by others. Their food, their attention, their values, their reactions. But once you build discipline, true discipline, you become dangerous. Why? Because you can't be tempted, you can't be baited, you can't be steered. You are guided not by impulse, but by intention. That's what the Stoics understood. They didn't seek to feel powerful. They trained themselves to be powerful, whether praised, hated, rich, poor, comfortable, or in pain. And if you're still watching this video right now, I know you feel it. You're done being a passenger in your own life. Comment below right now, "I train my mind. I train my life." Let the world know your era of excuses is over. Because discipline isn't about suffering. It's about becoming undeniable. It's about creating a life so aligned, so clear, so powerful that chaos can roar outside, and you'll still move in silence. So start now. Wake up with purpose. Study daily. Control your inputs. Guard your time. Speak less. Move more. Let discipline become your peace. Let routine become your ritual. Let effort become your edge. Because the world is chaotic, but your mind doesn't have to be. Final call to action. If this video opened your mind, if it ignited something inside you, then do this. Like the video. Comment your phrase, "I train my mind, I train my life." Subscribe to Stoic Mastery and turn on notifications so you never miss the tools that sharpen your edge. Because this isn't just content, this is mental armor. And you're not here to survive, You're here to master.